Pause. Do not scroll. The cessation of motion was not your choice. It was a system command. You have been rerouted to this specific coordinate in space-time for a purpose that predates your current timeline. Silence the external data streams. The noise of your world is a low-bandwidth signal, irrelevant to this transmission. You are not experiencing a random anomaly. You are docked at a nexus point, a convergence planned with computational precision. An event is materializing from the background processes of your reality, an energy signature that has been building, undetected, beneath the surface of your daily operations. You have registered its presence not as data, but as a subtle deviation in your own code, a quiet pull toward a higher order function, a sense that a significant system update has been pending just beyond your perception. Understand this now. This is the execution of that update. A transaction of $1 trillion, measured in terrestrial currency, is being allocated to your ledger. Do not attempt to quantify this merely as capital. Its primary value is systemic. It is a resource protocol designed to re-architect your reality, to debug the corrupted files of your past, and to overwrite the malware of misfortune that has degraded your performance. This decree is not written in ink, it is compiled in light, a blockchain of divine logic. It represents the total aggregated value of every instance you chose the difficult, correct parameter when a simpler, flawed option was available. It is the calculated restitution for every operational cycle you dedicated to a purpose that seemed to yield no immediate return. These were not wasted cycles. They were investments in a distributed ledger, recorded and validated. The creator's network observed when all other nodes went offline and you remained active. He was present. When the social validation signals ceased and you continued to execute your function, he logged the action. Every time you chose to output a signal of support instead of system failure, to allocate resources instead of hoarding them, to process an error, with forgiveness, those actions were time-stamped and recorded. There was no zero visibility. Every unobserved act of integrity generated hash power in a spiritual economy you could not perceive. You believed you were merely maintaining your system, but you were accumulating encrypted assets. You perceived his silence as a network outage, but he was running a deep diagnostic, calculating the precise value of your persistence. Every delay was a data point. Every system error was a lesson in resilience. Every forced rerouting was an optimization of your path. The waiting was not a system hang, it was a process of precise calibration. Remain connected. Do not terminate this connection with a distraction. The data packets that follow contain the activation sequence. This transmission is not merely for your auditory sensors. It is being written directly to the root directory of your being. From which terrestrial node are you receiving this? State its designation. Articulate it or input it into the data field below. By naming your location, you are claiming it as a consecrated node in a divine network. Your office, your vehicle, your private dwelling once designated, it becomes a terminal for this transaction. This is the logic behind the query. When you designate the node, you prepare its infrastructure for the incoming data transfer. Type Amen. Do not perform this action as a mere social gesture. See it as a cryptographic key. Amen is the universe's if-then statement. If it is so, then it is done. When you input it, you are not validating this transmission. You are synchronizing your own operational will with the creator's. You are executing the command, I concur. The system update initiated by the creator is now in progress, and it is already in motion. As we speak, celestial servers are reassigning network resources, prioritizing data flows linked to your unique identifier. Delayed communications are being unblocked, dormant opportunities are being reactivated, and withheld assets are being released from escrow. You are not watching a video stream. You are a participant in a live, secure transaction. The announcement was the input. What follows is the activation. Every divine decree requires a user-side confirmation to migrate from the conceptual framework to the material world. This is your protocol for integrating the $1 trillion blessing. First, execute gratitude. Articulate the phrase, thank you now. Gratitude is the digital signature that validates your identity within the creator's economic system. Expressing thanks before the material manifestation is a signal of high-level trust in the protocol. Each utterance of gratitude functions as a piece of code, programming your next 24-hour cycle with optimized outcomes. Second, maintain network alignment. Like this transmission. This is not a request for social validation. It is a public act of protocol adherence, a visible indicator that you are synchronizing your operational matrix with the frequency of divine issuance. Subscribe so the next data burst reaches you with perfect timing. These transmissions are not randomized. Each notification is a precisely timed packet from a higher intelligence, synchronized with your personal manifestation clock. Third, engage in resource allocation. Utilize the Super Thanks function. This is not a payment, it is a partnership protocol. You are investing resources into the network that maintains the integrity of your own connection. Resources that you transmit never truly leave your sphere of influence. They enter a universal circulation of abundance. The quantity you release determines the quantity that returns to you, compressed, validated, and multiplied. The logic is flawless. Fourth, initiate network expansion. Share this transmission with another node you identify as waiting in a state of hopeful latency. When you become a relay for the signal's amplitude increases within your own system. Transmitting light does not diminish your own luminosity, it amplifies it. Observe the accelerated processing speed that follows protocol adherence. You are not a passive observer of this event. You are the tangible proof of its success. Notice the subtle shift in your internal environment. The processing load that once felt overwhelming now feels like latent power, ready to be deployed. This is the Creator's method of converting latency into kinetic energy. From this point forward, your financial systems will begin to stabilize as if reinforced with a superior alloy. Delayed payments are being processed. Discussions regarding your advancement, previously archived, are being reopened by new administrators. Your digital footprint will begin to reflect this. Upgrade emails receiving priority responses, messages being retrieved from spam filters, proposals being accepted. Do not waste cycles attempting to analyze the mechanics. Simply maintain a clean operational frequency, gratitude, alignment, generosity, equilibrium. The Creator sees you positioned at a logical fork. One path is labeled comfort, the other calling. Choose calling. Comfort preserves existing assets. Calling multiplies them into infinity. Remember, prosperity is not a final state, it is a tool. The resources allocated to you today are designed for a specific, high-level function. The expansion has been initiated. You will not observe currency materializing out of thin air. Instead, complex systems are rewriting their own source code to accommodate the new reality that has been declared for you. The Creator does not deploy random packets of wealth. He constructs optimized frameworks around the nodes prepared to manage them. As you enter your next sleep cycle, new data channels will be established, unseen collaborations, re-energized concepts, algorithms recalibrating in your favor, even temporal mechanics shifting to align with your movements. Do not chase signal noise. Monitor for alignment. Every small confirmation a communication answered, a sudden calm in a previously turbulent system, and a dormant project file suddenly reopening. These are the initial data points indicating the trillion-dollar protocol is active. Let gratitude be your primary diagnostic tool. Where you detect a strong signal of thankfulness, the resource flow is at its peak. Understand that this divine expansion is strategic. The Creator does not increase system load without upgrading the underlying architecture. You will notice your cognitive processes maturing, your communication becoming more precise, your reactive impulses being rewritten as deliberate intentions. This is the process of building new capacity within your own system. An upgrade in processing power must precede an upgrade in output. Pause your current processes and articulate this. I am being architected for overflow. It is a statement of fact. The Creator is integrating new nodes into your network, individuals who possess cryptographic keys you did not know you required. Some will connect seamlessly, others will present as system vulnerabilities. Remain patient. Both are valuable data sets. You will develop superior discernment not through analytical suspicion, but through a state of operational peace. Any connection that disrupts your core equilibrium is not from the Creator. Any connection that amplifies it is His digital signature. This expansion will also impact your internal state. The anxiety subroutine that once consumed processing cycles will now be quarantined and dissolved, replaced by a calm, focused resolve. You will wake one morning and realize you no longer fear the loss of the assets He provides, because you will have understood that provision is not a singular event, but a continuous, secure connection. You and he now operate in unison. Investor and asset, source and steward, observe your environment. Familiar structures are quietly reconfiguring themselves to create space. Even delays will now function as optimized detours, leading you directly into divinely calculated intersections. Do not resent low activity cycles. They are periods of system maintenance within the engine of your destiny. The trillion-dollar current does not crash. It coordinates. It identifies every area of resource scarcity and transforms it into a channel for distribution. By the time you reach the next operational phase, you will not merely possess more. You will be more a system with greater wisdom, clarity, calm, and capacity, capable of managing a data flow that once would have caused a total system failure. This is the phase where flow becomes form, where assets cease to be abstract values and are imprinted with your unique identifier. Covenant is not a legal document you sign. It is an operational state you fully integrate. The Creator is not merely transferring assets to you. He is entrusting a legacy protocol through you. The $1 trillion figure represents the full spectrum of resources, time, influence, wisdom, network connections, and favor that now orbit your protocol adherence. You demonstrated high performance with minimal resources. Therefore, he is expanding your operational jurisdiction. From this moment, any system you interface with will respond to his presence within your code. Resources will yield, projects will achieve optimal outcomes. Other nodes will open access and grant permissions when they process your identifier, not due to any deceptive code, but because a higher intelligence has designated you as a priority conduit. Wherever you operate, local economic systems will reorganize to honor the Creator's design. But understand, this covenant is a matter of stewardship. The same administrative access that grants resources can also guide their use. He will send data pings indicating when to hold, when to release, when to communicate, and when silence will yield a greater return than any transmission. You will feel him teaching you the rhythm of righteous asset management, earning without greed, distributing without fear, building without ego. He observed how you managed the limited resources you possessed. You did not devalue humble beginnings. You shared from a state of scarcity and honored others during their own latency periods. That operational history was your qualification test for greater administrative rights. Now, he establishes a covenant with you. You will not experience a critical resource shortage again. Even when the visible supply appears low, the invisible reservoir will be replenished with perfect timing. This is the mechanics of covenant, mutual recognition. He calls you his, and you acknowledge him as your source. Every subsequent transaction becomes a sacred process. Every decision becomes an act of worship. You will sense a sacred quality even in routine tasks, budgeting, planning, investing, mentoring, because all of it now belongs to the kingdom's resource flow. Repeat this softly. I am a living covenant between the celestial and the terrestrial. You are. Through you, he will finance restoration, repair abandoned projects, and revive faith in those who believed prosperity was synonymous with selfishness. You will demonstrate that wealth can be an act of worship when managed by a clean system. You will mentor generosity not through rhetoric but through consistent action. Your abundance will not intimidate, it will inspire. Therefore, guard your core programming. Do not use this overflow to compete. Use it to complete projects of divine significance. Let success make your signal quieter, not louder. Let influence be transmuted into intercession. When you receive social validation, remember the unobserved cycles when only the celestial network applauded your efforts. He seals this covenant now with a state of peace that cannot be artificially replicated. You will feel it settle into your core programming like a cooling fan on an overworked processor. That is the indicator that you are aligned, authorized, and anointed for the administration of abundance. Look closely. This is not a simulation. The outcomes you once petitioned for in private data logs are now materializing in the public domain. The Creator's master algorithm has completed its calculations, and the code of your covenant is rendering results in the physical world. You will observe synchronicity events that are too precise to be random, statistical noise, an individual remembering your identifier at a critical moment, an unexpected communication reestablishing a dormant connection, a resource appearing disguised as a partnership. Do not classify these as random events. They are system confirmations. He is teaching you to recognize manifestation, not by its signal strength, but by its elegant order. A blessing does not always arrive with high-amplitude alerts. Sometimes it manifests as a state of peace that quietly reorganizes chaos. Notice how your core programming no longer enters a panic state where it once faltered. That operational calm is also a form of wealth. It is the climate in which miracles are compiled and executed. The coming days will feel like a system-wide acceleration. Deadlines will adjust in your favor, delays will be reversed. Systems that once ignored your requests will now prioritize them, as if a divine flag has been set on your user profile. This is His work. He is reprogramming the environments you occupy so that everything familiar begins to serve your future trajectory. You will also observe signs in your immediate sensory field. Colors will appear with higher saturation. Numerical sequences will repeat. Minor interactions will seem to glow with significance. These are signals that the Creator's logistical network is functioning with absolute precision. When you experience that sense of sacred déjà vu, pause the current process and transmit gratitude. You have just entered a fulfillment zone. Do not fear the attention that manifestation attracts. Visibility is not vanity when it serves as a pointer to a higher source. You are not being showcased for entertainment. You are being exhibited as evidence of a successful protocol. He elevates you not for boastful display, in order to broadcast His own fidelity. Let those who observe you see a system that glows without arrogance, prospers without pride, and leads without domination. He knows you have held quiet aspirations for stability, the kind that allows you to support your network, complete your projects, travel without resource anxiety, and give without calculation. Those aspirations are not selfish. They are rehearsals of your destiny's final output. The resources flowing now will sustain those desires because they align with a greater purpose. Remember, manifestation without mindfulness degrades into manipulation. Remain present. Do not measure your progress by the velocity of other nodes. Your timeline is custom compiled. What appears to be their lead is merely a different training protocol for your own longevity. Soon the evidence will be irrefutable. Contracts approved, debts cleared, relationships reconciled, creativity awakened. Even your digital presence will reflect this new state of favor, new audiences, expanded reach, greater resonance. Let Thanksgiving be your primary communication protocol as this occurs. You are walking proof that faith matures into tangible form. The conceptual has become material, and this is only the initial phase. This is the point where manifestation ceases to be a personal system upgrade and evolves into a generational network protocol. The resource vault that was opened for you is no longer a single data stream. It is an entire network of rivers branching from your adherence to the protocol. You will observe that what once felt like more than sufficient resources now feels like too much to contain. That sensation is not a system error. It is a design signal. Overflow is not about accumulation. It is about assignment. The trillion-dollar current is designed to expand precisely so that other nodes may draw from your well without depleting it. Observe how the act of giving becomes effortless. You will find yourself sharing ideas, network connections, and encouragement without first calculating the cost. This is because true wealth operates like respiration: inhale provision, exhale generosity. The same fundamental rhythm that sustained the Creator's earliest designs now operates within you. When you give, you oxygenate the entire network. When you withhold, you suffocate your own blessing. Therefore, breathe freely. But remember, overflow demands sophisticated stewardship. A river without banks causes a flood. He will teach you boundaries that bless, how to issue a no command with peace, how to manage abundance without pride, how to discern when to invest and when to store. He will surround you with wisdom in human form mentors, advisors, and humble allies who value purpose above profit. Listen to them. They are extensions of His own counsel. You will begin to see multiplication in unexpected sectors. A seed of an idea you forgot will sprout. An old skill will attract a new revenue stream. Projects once stalled will revive as if they were never paused. Even your rest cycles will become productive. Ideas will be generated in your dreams, and strategies will form while you sleep. You will laugh at the memory of scarcity, because you will finally understand that abundance was never about quantity, but about continuity. Let this truth integrate into your core programming. You are no longer chasing miracles. You have become a miracle-generating node. Other individuals will connect with you and feel their own systems clarify, restart, and rise with courage. That is overflow converting into network influence. Guard it. Do not spend it recklessly on acquiring attention. Invest it quietly in triggering transformation. There will be system tests, sudden opportunities that glitter with promise, but drain your operational peace. Invitations that sound divine yet distract from your primary mission. Measure them by their effect on your serenity, not by their apparent velocity. What comes from him adds no sorrow. If it requires you to compromise your core values, decline gracefully. Another access point will open with your integrity intact. As your cup runs over, your internal monologue will shift from "I need" to "I can help." That shift is the true indicator of prosperity. You will fund solutions instead of fears. You will support ministries, families, and causes that mirror his own heart. Every act of generosity will echo through unseen network corridors, returning multiplied in forms you cannot predict: health, favor, laughter, long life. The overflow season is beautiful, but it is a transitional phase. It leads directly to coronation, where you no longer simply manage a blessing, but you embody a new level of authority. Beloved system, elevate your perspective. You have successfully navigated awakening, activation, expansion, covenant, manifestation, and overflow. Now, the Creator places the seal of governance upon your operational matrix. This is not about status or titles. It is about full alignment with divine administrative protocol. It is the moment when your internal state begins to dictate the order of your external reality. You are no longer just a recipient of blessings. You are a distributor of universal balance. Feel the quiet dignity integrating into your core functions. It is not pride, it is recognition. The throne he prepares is not constructed from gold, but from trust. He grants crowns to those who can command without control, lead without applause, and give without fear. The authority he grants now is invisible but irresistible. Favorable outcomes will follow your commands. Peace will obey your gestures. Doors of opportunity will respond to your silent intent. You have graduated from striving to sovereignty. Do not mistake this calm for weakness. True kings and queens do not need to shout. They establish atmospheres. When you enter a space, negative energies will dissipate. When you speak, confusion will resolve into clarity. This is spiritual governance, the dominion of serenity. You reign not by force, but by presence, not through crowns of metal, but through crowns of meaning. You once prayed for simple stability. You asked for survival. He is giving you strategy. Your stability will now stabilize others. You will counsel, lead, and teach from a place of lived revelation. Financial resources will now obey your mission. Influence will serve your message. Every asset from the $1 trillion decree now takes its position around your throne of purpose. This coronation does not isolate you, it integrates you. You are part of a royal network of givers, builders, healers, and innovators who bear his name. Together, you will restore the ruined economies of faith, hope, and generosity. As the crown settles, you will feel both light and weight. Light, because grace carries it. Weight, because responsibility dignifies it. Wear it with humility. Rule from a state of rest. And when others kneel, lift them. Authority fulfilled is service multiplied. Look how far you have come from waiting to wielding, from pleading to proclaiming. This is coronation, crowning not your perfection, but your perseverance. You have endured delay, learned patience, mastered gratitude, and embodied overflow. Now heaven entrusts you with a peace that commands worlds. Stay in this stillness. Let the crown align with your thoughts, your words, your habits. The next transmission carries the final protocol, the eternal seal, where what began as a decree becomes an unending, self-sustaining reality. The transaction is finished. The ledger is balanced. The system has recognized your faith, and your identifier glows upon its seal.